16 seconds behind him. He can't take that risk.
He's going to have to go for the final lap. They will have worked on the fuel. They will have known how many laps they might have to do, and they will have fueled for that at Audi. They do not make those kind of mistakes. Through the Ford chicane, a minute remains in the 2011 24 Hours of Le Mans as he crosses the line, and we are now in the last minute of the 24 hours.
Yep.
On to the last lap goes the Audi of Andre Lotterer. Coming up behind him, Lotterer doing a 3-minute 30.5, barely any slower than he's done in the last hour, so he knew he was not going to get inside the time. We are on the last lap of Le Mans 2011, and the gap 15.5 seconds. Pagenaud took a second and a half out of Lotterer on that lap, and that would have been in traffic.
All that traffic down to Indianapolis, exactly right. So it's not going to make any difference now, as long as Lotterer can keep this car going to the finish. Pagenaud can do the same. They're also looking at Tim Greaves' Zytek car heading for that win, and a double win for Corvette in the 2 GT classes.
And what a finish for Corvette. This will be absolutely awesome. What I've seen is just such a tight battle all the way, and here we see the 2 Corvette cars in formation getting ready to take the checkered flag together, with number 2 car coming around as well, just flashing those lights, hoping that they see him and they realize that the race isn't over yet. I'm sure they will, because these guys are top professionals.
Oh yeah, everybody's engineers will be on the radio going, last lap, the Audi's coming, the Audi's coming. He goes by the GT Pro winning CompuWare Corvette, the 73 car with Antonio Garcia at the wheel. In front of him is the Labra competition car that is leading the GT AM class as he goes by, and the time has run out now on the clock, but on the big clock over the start finish line, a slight disagreement there. We're in France, I think we'll let that slide.
Now, last year we saw all 3 Audis coming in formation into the finish. Sadly, this year the one lone Audi flying the flag for all of them. But he still held it together. It looks like they've still managed to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans despite the 2 enormous accidents we saw earlier.
Of course, the clock at the finish line, well spotted, everybody was counting up after counting down to 24 hours. Yes, well, yes, I can't spot these things very easily. Japanese flags flying potentially for Shinji Nakano. There is our LMP1 leader going by our LMP2 leader. So that is the car of Olivier Lombard, the young Frenchman who's going to slot in behind the Audi. He'll be some way behind at the line, because don't forget, the Audi is still in a pucker race. 13 seconds at Mulsanne, at the start of the chicane was the gap between the Audi and the Peugeot. The Peugeot is closing hard. The Audi can afford to take no more chances and give away no more time.
And Dr. Ulrich still looking very stressed in their pit box. You know, we're down to the absolute last couple of corners of 24 hours, and still he's not believing it's over until he crosses the checkered flag, rightly so.
Well, Wolfgang Ulrich may well have trained marksmen aiming at all the lead commentators up here to make sure that we don't curse this race, because for them it has been such a difficult race. 2 enormous accidents, both of which were shown live, and we genuinely thought that we were going to be in danger of losing drivers at the very least in both of those races. And so from the roller coaster of those despairing moments to what in a minute or so is going to be utter jubilation, and there's no question the floodgates are going to open for everybody in those garages. This has been such a tough race, and if you were a Hollywood scriptwriter, this is how you would write it, isn't it? The despair, the heartbreak, the humanity of the thing, and then in the end, the final minute of the final loop. Here is our race win for the car that started from pole position. It is victory for Audi number 2. Andre Lotterer takes the win in the 2011 Le Mans 24 Hours, and the margin of victory will be less than 15 seconds. Across the line comes Simon Pagenaud, who gave it everything and came up short after 24 blistering, heartbreaking, stunning, astonishing hours by 13 seconds. Unlucky 13 for Simon Pagenaud, but the jubilation, that is the relief of a 23-hour pressure cooker. An hour in, we thought that Audi had seen one of their drivers in a fatal accident. In the middle of the night, we thought for a second time that was the case. In both instances, it turned out that the drivers walked away from the wreckage, and now the only car that remained against the mitre Peugeot has somehow achieved the almost unimaginable of staying in the lead and winning at Le Mans.
We've seen the tears of agony for Dr. Ulrich and the whole team, and now the tears of joy. It's been the most emotional race for Audi I think we've seen in a very, very long time.
And unless I miss my guess, Andre Lotterer is going to have trouble seeing down the Mulsanne, because he was weeping as well, and why would you not?
So 13 participations and 10 wins now for Audi. That is unbeaten by anyone now. They're heading straight towards Porsche's 16 outright victories.
Well, remarkable scenes. It has been quite a remarkable race. Not exactly the closest finish ever recorded, but that may well be the tightest podium, the tightest top four, and certainly, in my memory, the hardest race that anybody has had to win. We've had cars expire, spill out all their water on the beginning of the last lap, and somehow crawl through 8.5 miles with nothing left to give. Shinji Nakano, whose car blew up on the penultimate lap, has just crossed the line, and the last lap time for him, a 4:18. He is in. He has done it. Our GT classes won by Corvette. Antonio Garcia taking the 73 car across the line to victory, and Gabriele Gardel bringing car number 60 to the amateur class win. And for British fans, a big celebration for the tiny Greaves Motorsport team, née Brook-Laddie. The team have been coming here with their team building up their experience and their ability, and they have claimed the LMP2 win. Doors open in relief and salutation between two really great gladiatorial adversaries. Andre Lotterer, the winner for Audi, Simon Pagenaud, the second place finisher for Peugeot. In this race, I think it would be hard to call anybody in second place a loser.
And Liz, without upsetting you, Shinji Nakano, 9:14.
I read the wrong line.
No.
If they are going
I
to
think it's
be
within the race winner, though, isn't it?
if they're going to be strict in the rules, we've always been told in the regulations you must complete.
The team did a very great job. Andre, best lap in the race. Marcel Degreux, engineer Lina, everyone. It's just the really team spirit and a really team win, you know. The atmosphere in the team is just great, and it's just helped to get the top.
En français, Benoît, parce que vous êtes d'Alençon, vous avez gagné juste à côté de chez vous. C'est une joie immense, j'imagine.
C'est vraiment super.
Really fantastic, lots of emotion, says Benoît Treluyer. The local driver from Alençon, just 40 kilometres from Le Mans. Look at it, look what it means. How many times did he come here as a kid and watch this? And he is now going to have one of the greatest feelings in motorsport, to walk out onto the podium above the enormous crowd here at Le Mans.
Pedro, it was such an incredible race until the very end of this race.
Yeah, it's true. It was very close. Audi were very fast. They lost 2 cars, but they had 1 car, and was enough for them to win.
When the gap is so tight, what do you have in your head?
Just try to fight until the end, but they had a more power car. I mean, they were stronger all the way through. So it was a shame for Peugeot, because Peugeot did a great job and lost just 10 seconds, I think.
Do you have some regrets on the race, or you are quite happy?
No, I would like to drive more, because I didn't drive much, but that's the team decision. So thank you.
Well, tears everywhere. None of the drivers has yet said it, but I'm going to say it. That was one hell of a motor race, and for Audi to come out through all the trials and tribulations that have been slung at them and win a titanic battle with Peugeot, remarkable.
We go, we follow you. Marcel, it's just a dream, incredible.
Yeah, it's an amazing 5 last hours or 6 last hours. I was just thinking that the time stands still, and it's huge. It's just huge. I don't know what I've said. I'm such proud of what we have done all together. It's just an amazing.
I'm just telling you, you won the Mans. You won the 24 hours.
Going to try and catch a word as well with local resident Sebastien Bourdais from Le Mans, from a racing family. And of course, his Peugeot also in the battle all the way through. Andre Lotterer brings the winning Audi through. Bourdais 3 times now a second place finisher at Le Mans. It must be starting to become tantalisingly annoying that that top step stays out of his reach. Well, you'll have to forgive some mayhem, some panic, some chaos, some confusion. I hope you've enjoyed this race even 1/10 as much as we have. If so, then maybe you'll think about coming down next June. Sun or rain, hail, sleet, snow, whatever, Le Mans never fails to enthrall and excite. And this year, the 79th running of the race has been another exceptional event, and one of the toughest, hardest fought and most dramatic battles I think we've ever seen.
Not happy, is he, Sebastian? He's been trying to win this race for 9 years, and there's been huge local banter going on in all the local press about the man from Alençon against the man from Le Mans.
I know, and I think, like I say, I believe Peugeot thought they had it this time.
It's just incredible, you know. It's difficult to realize, but it was a very hard race with a very strong competitor, and it makes the race even better and the win even better. So I just want to thank all the staff, because they did just a great job, all my teammates, and I'm not talking only about Andre and Marcel. They did a great job for sure, but the others who has been very unlucky in the race condition, and we're thinking about Rocky, who is at the hospital now, and they did the job also, you know. Everybody works since a long time ago on the car, and because of all the drivers, all the engineers, we got a very great car, and we won. We are just represent the people on the top of a podium, but it's a victory of all the team.
Thank you, Ben.
The inset is the other side of that coin. The disappointment of coming so close and being so close and remaining so close. It's a kick in the teeth to be out of this race inside the first hour or two, and Aston Martin Racing know all about that. It's a kick in the teeth to get right the way to the end and then have the car die on you, and maybe Oak Racing know all about that. But for Sebastien Bourdais, the local boy, this is his race. They come to his town every year, and he's just been so tantalisingly close. But for this man, Wolfgang Ulrich, the head of the Audi racing team, he came here first on a busman's holiday in a boys' weekend with one of the men from Audi UK, and David Ingram brought him along, thought he ought to come to Le Mans to have some fun and enjoy himself. Leaning out of one of the upstairs windows at the end of the race, he said, "We have got to do this." And boy, when they do something, they really do it. As a result, they have become the single most dominant force